Hello, this is Christopher, and I want to take you on a brief tour of the Google Sheet add-on called Autocrat. What Autocrat's going to do for us is it's going to take information from a sheet that is put there by a form, and then it's going to merge that data into a personalized Google Doc. And that should make more sense as we go through this process here. So really I need three things before I begin. First, I need a form that I'm going to collect people's data with. And so here I have a form, and I'm just collecting some information for people who are wanting to attend Capitol Days. I'm also going to need the sheet that is attached to this form. And so to get that, I'm going to click on the Responses tab in the new Google Forms. And I'm going to click on View Responses in Sheets. That's going to open the sheet that's connected to this form. And so across the top you can see that it's already created the headers for me, and those were taken directly from the questions. And so when a person fills out our form, that data is going to go into here, one person per line. The third component I need is the document that the data is going to be merged into. And so here I have that. This is just a Google Doc. And as you're looking at this, you'll notice some things that probably look a little odd. But this is called an Autocrat tag. And the Autocrat tag is telling Autocrat where to put information from the sheet. So this here will be replaced when Autocrat runs with whatever data is in the CTA contact name column. Likewise, here's another tag. Autocrat will replace this with whatever data is in the number of members attending column, so on and so forth. Okay. So now that I have those three things in place, I need to set up Autocrat. And Autocrat is always going to be run and managed through the Google Sheet that is attached to your form. And so I'm going to go up to Add-ons. And you can see that I already have Autocrat installed. If you don't have Autocrat, you may have to come down here and click Get Add-ons. Do a quick search for Autocrat, though a lot of times you'll see it here. So here is Autocrat. We're going to click on that. And yours, instead of saying Manage, will probably say Add-on or Connect. I don't remember exactly what it says. And then that will connect Autocrat to your Google accounts. You will have to OK a number of permissions, but after you do, that's going to take you back to your sheet. Well, once I have that installed, I'm going to come up here to Add-ons, and I'm going to come down to Autocrat, and I'm going to click Launch. And today I'm going to take you through a very basic setup of Autocrat. There are more advanced features that I will not go into in this video, but this will be enough to get you started. So once Autocrat has initialized, we're going to click New Job, and we're going to call this Merge. That's typically what I will call my merge job, but you can name it anything that you like. And then we're going to click Next. Next, we have to go find that template, this Google document that I've created. We need to go find that. And so I'm going to do a form from Drive, or do it from Drive. And here is that document. So I'm going to click once and click Select. And now Autocrat's going to go in and take a look at the tags that I have in there. Click Next. Now on this, we're going to make sure that everything matches up correctly. So this is the tag that's from the document, and it's going to take the information from this column here. If for whatever reason these don't match up, you can always use the drop down and choose a different column. But I always go through here just to make sure that things are matching up correctly. It looks like they are. If you make sure that you name your tags the same exact things as your column headers in your sheet, then this part will be very simple to do. And I always like to check to make sure that the merge tab up here is set to my form response as 1, which is just saying I'm pulling data from this tab in my Google Sheet. So since that all matches up, I'm going to go next. Now here it's asking me if I want to create a file, what kinds of file I want to create, and also what do I want to name that file. So to do that, I'm going to click this arrow right here, and again you'll notice that these are those tags that are in my document. And so I want to name this with the CTA's contact name. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to come back in here and do a Command V or Control V to paste that. And so basically we're telling Autocrat, I want you to name my file starting with the person's contact name. And then I'm just going to call this. Now here I have a choice of creating a Google document or a PDF document. I'm going to go ahead and create a PDF document just because there's really no reason for the person to edit the document. But you are more than welcome to choose a Google document. Now I'm going to output this as multiple documents. So each time, for each row in my spreadsheet, it's going to create a different document. So I have one document for one row, one document for the next row. I can also do a single document where it's going to put each row on a separate page in the same document. So if this is creating a document that you're going to print off, I would probably go with the single document. But if this is something where you're going to be emailing a person back a response, like we're doing here, I would stick with the multiple documents. And so I have multiple documents selected. I'm going to click Next. Next, we need to choose the folder within our drive that it's going to put these documents. So I'm going to click this blue Choose Folder button. And I want all the files to go into this Autocrat demo folder that is on my drive. So I'm going to click on it once and click Select. And so now it's telling me that all my documents will be saved in that folder. There are more complicated setups where you can have documents going into different folders depending on the data that you get back. But again, that's more advanced features. I'm going to click Next. The dynamic folder reference is where you would set up the criteria to allow it to choose if you set up folders in more than one folder in the previous. This would allow you to set up the criteria that's going to trigger which folder the document will end up in. We didn't do that, so I'm just going to click Next and leave this blank. And then we can also set up conditions upon to allow the merge. We're not going to do that for this scenario, so I'm going to click Next again. Next, it's asking me if I want to share these documents or email these documents out to people. And so I'm going to say yes, and I'm sharing it as a PDF. And it's asking me if I want to allow my collaborators to reshare. That's fine if they want to send it to someone else. And do I want it to come from a generic no reply address? I do not. Okay. So everything here is what's going to be emailed to the person. So in the to, I'm going to click in here, and remember this little shelf. I'm going to slide it over. I'm going to choose the CTA contact email address. I'm going to click on it and click back in the to and do Control or Command V. And so again, I'm telling Autocrat that in the email, I want to take the email that I collected from the person, and I want it to go right in there. Now I'm also going to blind carbon copy this to myself, so I have information of it. And if I want to, I can put in a carbon copy or a reply to, but I really don't need to in this situation. So the subject is going to be And now here, that's the subject for the email. Here I'm going to type my actual message. And again, I can include tags into this. So I'm going to say, dear. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to get that CTA contact member's name. I clicked on it, and now I'm going to come back and paste that. Thanks for... Right, and so I didn't really need to pull any information from the spreadsheet in the body of my email, but I'm just telling them that there is a document that's going to be attached to this email that will contain information for them. All right, it's after this point that I always just like to click the save, because I don't want to have to come back to this and redo everything. I just like to do that real quick, just to save the information. When I save it, it brings me back to this merge. And if I put my mouse over it and click the pencil icon, that'll take me back in to finish up the editing. So I've already done these first steps. And so I'm going to go on to the last step, which is the triggers. And so this allows me to choose when I want Autocrat to run. If I want to run on form trigger, I click yes. It's going to ask me if I want to enable triggers. I'm going to say yes. And what this feature does is anytime a person goes in and submits your form, upon them clicking the submit button, it's going to automatically run Autocrat and send the email where it needs to go. So typically I will have this on, and so that way I don't have to come back to the Autocrat to run it. It just runs by itself whenever the person hits submit. The second option on the screen is run on time trigger, and if I click yes there, I can tell it to run every hour, every day, whatever. And so it'll just automatically run and see if there are any new lines in the spreadsheet that it needs to email out. All right. I don't have a next button, so I'm at the end. I'm going to click save again. I like to always come back here and click this play button just to run it, even though there's nothing in the spreadsheet. It's going to create some new columns for me so that I know that the Autocrat is up and running. Okay. Some other options here is the info button. If I click that, it's going to show me what the email is going to look like, and just gives me a basic overview of everything that I just set up. And I can preview my first row if I have information in the row. I don't in this case, so I can't. The last option is delete. So if I want to delete a job, I can just click that delete button. And now that I have Autocrat set up, I'm just going to click the close button. And now it's ready to go. Whenever a person goes to my form and they click submit, Autocrat will run and send out the emails. So just to demonstrate this, I'm going to go back to my form, and I'm going to click the preview button, and I'm going to go ahead and fill out this information really quick. All right, so I've submitted the form, and if I go back to my spreadsheet, I should see there's all the information that I inputted in right here. And so now Autocrat should trigger itself. I'll know when that happens when these get filled in with information about where the new document is, like it just popped up there. That's how I know that the merge has run successfully. So it tells me where it is on my drive, the document. It tells me the name of the file, and it tells me that it was successfully merged and the email was sent. And on my iPad that's right next to me, I just got an email from myself, actually. So if you want to see what the document looks like, I'm just going to open this up. And here you can see the completed document. It has my name in there. It has the number of people, has my CTA, and has the day that I selected to attend. So everything merged correctly, it emailed correctly, and now that person has a confirmation of that information, along with some other reminders that I wanted them to have before the day arrives. So that is a very quick and basic setup of Autocrat. I hope you find this helpful, and I hope you find Autocrat add-on as useful as I have found it. Thanks.